Take one, boys.
Take one. Test one.
So I heard somebody talking about belly buttons.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like something to that.
And we're dead.
Yeah. That's fine.
So if you could have your choice of like what gadget you would put in place of your belly button, what would it be?
So just to give context, I've got a really bad belly button. Now I've got a hernia. It's caused by a birth defect. They said I need surgery, and I'm getting a new belly button. So the gadget I would get, I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't want to go basic though.
You haven't thought about it at all. Like
Not
what
really.
it could
Maybe
be.
like no, I haven't really.
I feel like bare basics, rechargeable battery with like a USB port in it.
Just like a plug and play situation. down
Yeah.
there.
I feel like that's the floor. Like you got to at least start there, and then you could work
Like
your way
what's
up
Ryan
to like.
useful for? And it's like, well, he's USB ready.
So he can always charge your phone.
Yeah.
That's
Or
what
whatever he needs, a camera.
Yeah.
I feel used in that situation.
Would it be like a USB-C or like old school, like a USB type
No,
A?
dude, come on, I'm up to date.
Yeah, you got to get USB.
Would you have like a multi-switch? You have one day and then you swap out the adapter
it
for
would-
another one?
It would be like what you would have in a car. You know, one is for music and media, and then the other one's just purely for a fast charger. So actually, I kind of like this idea now.
I'm telling you, there's some good use cases.
Yeah.
It could also be like an NFC contact card where someone's like, "Give me your number," and you're like, "Touch your phone to my stomach."
That's also
that's
a
actually a really good idea.
one.
Yeah.
You want to talk about
Yeah.
making an impact, or like first impression on somebody? That's how you do it. It's
Yeah,
like,
okay.
I met this guy at like a social networking event, and he told me he was a photographer, but it was way more than that. I got his contact by tapping my phone to his belly button.
He's a cyborg.
I have to call this guy.
We're close.
Yeah.
You could also have like a disconnectable like Beyblade type deal.
I was thinking of like a cue ball, you know, just
Oh,
like
yeah.
ready to go. For
it could
pool.
be like one of those like size adjusting pockets where it like snaps into place around whatever
Dude,
you
that would
put it.
just
You
make
could
me a
fit stuff.
kangaroo.
Like you could fit a cue ball or a Beyblade or like a lighter or, I don't know, pack of matches, something like that. Just it's a little storage compartment.
It's
Yeah.
worth putting some thought into.
I think
Yeah.
I think we're done with the belly button talk for today, but I appreciate the ideas.
Last idea.
Okay.
Iron Man. Right?
Just down there.
Like he's got his glowing orb in the middle of his chest.
Yeah.
You need that.
Okay, the belly button would be wild. The trailer park Tony Stark.
That's what I'm saying.
There we go.
Dude, the trailer park Tony Stark.
That's
is
incredible.
fantastic.
And that's a wrap on the belly button situation.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
That's the name of the episode for sure.
Yeah.
Trailer park Tony Stark.
So we're thinking about, this being episode 001, quote unquote, test episode of the soon to be named appropriately, but the Vera podcast. We want to get into some things that are just maybe on our minds or like something we saw cool this past week or this past month. Did you guys have anything off top of your head that you like, that was sick? I want to talk about that.
Did you see Rob Zombie's house is for sale?
No. Where is that?
I don't know, but it's fucking sick.
I bet it's. Do you know the price of it?
I think it's like $9 million.
I was gonna guess it, Mike.
It's sick though. It's super sick.
No, I did not see that.
It's pretty dope. Like Rob Zombie has some pretty great taste. Like it's not what you would expect. Like you would think his house would be very like zombie-ish, and it isn't. It's like very modern, eclectic, like really nice. Like the architecture, the design, it's so sick. I saw it and I was like, damn, not what I was expecting. Second thought was I would totally buy that house.
Do you know where it is? Did I already
find
ask
out.
that question?
It says it's in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah, it's in LA. So
Yeah.
never mind. I don't want it, but I do want it.
Yeah.
It's also on this website called Rob Report.
Yeah, Rob Report. Yeah.
I feel like every like A-list or musician has like a fan generated
Like their own
site.
news outlet. This
Yeah.
is all
Yeah.
100% their stuff.
Yeah.
Like everything related to them.
Yep.
It is
Yeah.
kind of cool though, because I bet you at one point this house is probably like 30, 40 million. But now that the whole state's on fire and no one wants to live there, it's like now it's in theory cheap.
Yeah. That's
nine-
I mean, it looks pretty. Look at this. It looks whimsical as hell.
It is sick.
Ooh.
It's so sick.
Yeah,
The
it's like-
inside
That's
is
actually
insane.
really cool. It's like just a giant Hobbit house almost.
I could see Rob Zombie in his like elder statesman era just settling into a place like that. Look at that.
It's so nice.
That's fucking cool.
Like the lighting is sick. The whole thing is sick.
I mean, how old is he? He's got to be in his 50s, right?
50s? He's got to be older than that.
I don't know, dude. I was rocking out to him as a little kid playing
That's what I'm
Twisted
saying.
Metal. You remember that?
Yeah,
game?
no, 100%.
Siri, how old is Rob Zombie?
Somebody's answered it. Someone
Mine
took
did-
over.
Mine
from
didn't answer it.
Oh.
Let's just see.
How old is Rob Zombie? 60.
Yeah. I mean, close.
I mean, that looks like a 60-year-old's house.
That's the thing. Like,
But
yeah.
like 60-year-old rich.
But like you were like the god of like death and gore, and now you're probably sitting back drinking an iced tea, sitting by the pool in your ivory covered mansion.
It kind of does make sense though, because like if you think about it, I bet Guillermo del Toro's house is probably nice and like elegant,
Yeah.
and he makes like some of the most gruesome stuff.
Who?
Guillermo del Toro.
Guillermo.
He's the king of practical costumes for monsters.
Yeah.
Oh. How do you know this?
Because we like
Movies,
movies.
man.
Yeah.
Oh.
He did all of the practical design for the Hellboy movies, the first two.
Oh, okay.
This guy's
And-
like, he's a legend.
He did Pan's Labyrinth. That's incredible.
Nice.
But yeah, I guess it would make sense. Like if I'm a dark guy, like on a set or something like that, and all of my taste is going that way, like my photography, creative stuff is definitely dark and black and orange and very like, just emotional. When I dream of like my dream home, it's definitely modern and like nice and very bright and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Two sides to every person.
I think like we've been to your house, Mike. Like your house has been well designed and curated and like obsessively just structured to be exactly the way you want it. I'm sure there's probably stuff you want to change about it, but it's pretty well laid out and it matches your vibe like pretty consistently throughout. I was looking at I was at my place the other day and I realized that I've laid my place out completely opposite to like the way that I like do other things like DJing and style and music. My place is all like white, like walls and like
So you resent
crown
that, dude.
molding and like, like a Ashley furniture couch and just really just so kind of minimalist. I would say like if you were to look at me like aesthetically, that's not what you would imagine.
Right.
Like you see those ads on Instagram for like the guys that live in those like art wall covered apartments with like this kitschy, like weird thrifted furniture, and they always wear like slippers.
Yeah.
That I think that's like how people imagine my apartment looking, but it's not. It's not like that.
I feel like you've got some cool pieces though.
Yeah, I
Like
got
you
like
definitely got some cool stuff for sure.
some cool pieces, but I think I like that traditional like aesthetic in a house just because it feels like a home.
Yeah.
Like the cool kind of artsy, almost like you're living in an art gallery style apartment. It doesn't feel comfortable to me.
Yeah. Yeah. At some point, I mean, not that my house is based on what's called Scandinavian modern. So that was the style that I saw that I've always liked. And then when I bought a house, I was like, that's what I want. And then I ripped all the trim and all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's sick.
Scandinavian modern.
Yeah. Dude, I keep seeing these ads, speaking of Scandinavia, where you can buy like in a homestead for like $80,000.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
there's one that you can buy like a whole island with a house and a farm on it in the middle of the lake, this giant lake there for like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Did you see that from today? I follow all those pages. I love all those houses, man.
Yeah.
Like it's once I get my helicopter, I'm buying one of those
Fuck
for
yeah.
sure. 100%.
It's like, and you kind of get got by Instagram ads or like Facebook ads. You're like, shit, I gotta just go in a deep dive. Like you're about to hit checkout. And you're like, no, I don't want to get sold on.
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah.
This is that. Like you go and it's an ad for, do you have 20K? Can you get a modest mortgage? Do you want to move to south of fucking, Reykjavik or wherever?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, like I would entertain that.
It looks cool on Instagram, but I bet, you pack up your shit, you tell your family goodbye, you sell your house, you move out there, and then you're like, oh, I'm literally on the side of a mountain in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
I have a client, her name is Veronica, and her firewood and her water is delivered to her by helicopter.
What, water?
Yes. So she lives on the side of a mountain in Italy. I forget what town she lives in.
Yeah.
But it's so far disconnected from I don't want to say civilization because there's a whole town there, but she's so high up on the mountain that you can't get vehicles up to the top of it. So, and it's freezing cold. So in order to stay warm, they have a service, and a helicopter comes and drops off a pallet of wood and a pallet of water like once a month. And that's how they get their necessities.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's like on the same playing field as like paying for like jet storage. You know, like, is it that expensive? Does it sound that crazy? Or is it like just a normal thing where they're like, nah, this is like a monthly thing? And
I think it's normal. And I also think that the trade-off is the cost of living is so much cheaper, probably.
Probably.
You know?
I can see that as well.
I think when I've done like what little research I have on those, hey, we'll pay you, X number of dollars to move to this abandoned neighborhood in the south of France. There is no running water. There are no shops for food. You have to cut your own firewood. So cost of living's probably pennies, but
here's
sacrifice.
Jeff with his helicopter and delivery service.
You have Jeff on like on a speed dial on your phone. It's like, dude, I'm having a heavy flow day. I need you to come hook me up with some water, dog. I got to take a shower.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But yes, I look at those houses all the time. I bookmark them, I save them, and in my alternate universe, I'm like, I'm gonna buy one of those for sure.
Yeah. Not a Barndominium.
I would like to do that as well.
This year is the first time I've ever heard that term, Barndominium.
It's sweet.
And it's pretty awesome. No complaints. They look pretty awesome.
Big warehouse with a racetrack on the river. Sign me up, dude.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you want to have a house in Scandinavia with Jeff dropping your water off, and the Barndominium, and the Scandinavian modern. So how do we get Mike to own 3 houses?
Yeah. Well, the reality is I'll probably sell my current house at some point. I'm not in a rush to do it, but I do think if I could find the right like piece of property on the river, I would kind of trade. You know what I mean? I would sell my house, get the equity from all the money I put into it, and then really, truly probably put that into some sort of something cool, like some sort of industrial, big, modern house on the river, whether it's a barndominium or big container house or something crazy with, I'd have to find the right property for it. And I want a racetrack. And basically the bottom of the house would just be a big warehouse for like cars and whatever else, toys and simulators and
Tony
technology.
Stark. Yeah. Dude, just like Batcave, Tony 100%. Stark style. Yeah. That's actually dope. You've probably seen this. I think there's a couple of people that have done the racetrack driveway where like the entry third of a mile to their house from the road is like a winding, twisting track.
A little chicane or something.
Yeah. And then you whip it in there as fast as you can and try not to hit your house on the way in.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%. That looks cool.
Dude, it'd be sick. Yeah. So I think like that would be like my home base, like my actual home. But I would like to have a vacation home in the mountains. Like I like the beach, but I'm not really a beach person. I would much rather have a house in the mountains, you know, and it wouldn't be like full-time living. But I would like to have a second like residency at some point. Would be super cool.
I'm more of a lake house guy. I think like a lake house would be
cool.
Incredible. I just think the beach is like too much. I don't know. Maybe you share this because you're a perfectionist, kind of like I am. But like, dude, having sand everywhere, just like I can't do it. I would hate it.
Yeah, it's a lot of sand, a lot of salt. I don't even know what I base it on. I mean, I spend time at the beach, and it is normally in a vacation setting, so maybe that's what kills it for me. Like, not that I don't like going on vacation to the beach, but if I had to pick, like if I had to choose, go in the mountains where you've got hiking and trails and streams and wildlife versus the beach, I'd just pick mountains every time.
I mean, you eliminate other people. The sounds of children having fun, just like eradicated sounds nuts.
And I've never really seen a helicopter at the beach. I have seen a helicopter in the mountains.
Fair.
Also, I feel like a helicopter in the mountains would be a way bigger flex.
For sure.
Oh no, dude, I had this perfectly thing built and it's made so I can get in and out of trees and it's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think beach or mountain.
Beach or mountain. Yeah. I think mountain with access to like a body of water.
Yeah.
So not a beach, but like a modest trail ride or streetcar ride down to like a big lake
Yeah.
with like a beach thing or like a nice dock area.
Yeah.
So like Colorado
Yeah, because I mean, I
or
like
Canada.
I definitely like the idea of being in like the wilderness and like being like tucked away, like cabin style, just out in the middle of nowhere. But I would want access to a big body of water.
Yeah.
I'm not even like a big swimmer. I wouldn't go swimming in it that often. I think being close to the water is nice.
It's the way to go.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
And almost, I guess it's not a given, but for me, it's like an unsaid thing. Like when I think mountains, I also think river. You know, it's like they got to kind of be together.
Yeah.
And I would say, I think Richmond, depending on the property, can serve that purpose. You know, I walk by the houses that are on the backside of Pump House Drive.
Yeah.
And I mean, they almost have a mountain home. Like it's literally on a cliff, and
And they're
sick.
nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with that. You know,
I think
I don't need
that's-
to actually be on a mountain.
That's kind of like I think that's like the Richmond, like being enveloped in like the comfiness, coziness of this place that's a part of it, is like you can get mostly like everything you want within, you know, a few hours in the state of Virginia specifically, but that you can get the urban feel from like the downtown area, the Churchill area, Jackson Ward. You can go a little further out, get some more suburban area. And even in the suburbs like Henrico and like Goochland and Chesterfield, it's super wooded. So it's even like more secluded out there, but you know, you're only 20 minutes from downtown. And then to your point about the house on like Pump House Road and like Riverside Drive in particular,
Yeah.
they're on cliffs, like over the James. And your backyard is like Westover Hills with like a full-fledged like shopping center and like a coffee shop and some cool restaurants.
Yeah.
So like it's pretty cool.
It's sick.
I think the perfect city for that is Asheville, North Carolina. Have you been there?
No, I haven't.
Mike, have you been to Asheville?
Not in a long time.
So it's like Richmond. They've got a small downtown. They've got they're huge on breweries. And a lot of their breweries are very close together. And it just like feels cool. The locals there are amazing. And then right down the road are just mountains. It's one of the coolest places on earth. Just because you have like everything you want in a city, but then you can get away in 5 minutes. Yeah. It's really cool. I love that place. Unfortunately, it's about like a 6-hour drive from here.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's a hike. But man, like if I were to pick an ideal place, I think Asheville would be that place, just because, you know, you have the hiking and you have the city. Cause like for me, I would love a big cabin in the woods, but I'm a people person and I'm an extrovert. So like, man, I just want the people.
Yeah.
And I want, you know, people and friends around. So I think as I get older, that'll probably change. And I'll probably want to just
I would definitely
evaporate to somewhere else, but
2 houses, like one in the city or like adjacent to the city or like a short drive to the city, but would need the like availability of like being excluded or like secluded rather out in the middle of nowhere. Like weekend house, month vacation house is somewhere in the woods, but the main residence is like in or near a city.
Yeah.
That's my vibe for sure.
I'd probably agree with all that.
It brings you back to Richmond though.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it's like
That's the thing.
Like all the kids that I went to school with, like in high school, you'll never like, you'll see them maybe at like Belle Isle or something.
Yeah.
You know, so many people were like born and raised here. I wasn't born here, but I went to high school here, and everyone I went to high school with, or just people in that age bracket, I don't think they know like the potential of Richmond. Like they don't understand. They've never been anywhere.
well, you have to
Not
appreciate
all of them, of course, but like so many people that I know that live in Richmond and they don't even live in Richmond. They live in Chesterfield or Midlothian.
or like Mechanicsville.
They've never been anywhere, you know, or they just stay here and they're like, this place sucks. And it's like, really, have you been anywhere? Because when you go other places, you realize how much this place doesn't suck.
Yeah. It's like, have you tried any of the restaurants around here?
Yeah.
Because we have some of the best food I've had.
Yeah, dude, it's great food, great beer. There's wildlife. There's the city. There's everything. And Austin is a great example. People love Austin. Austin is just a bigger Richmond.
Well, Austin's just like, it's a bigger name.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
bigger. It's just a bigger, you know, it's a river city.
Yeah.
And it's very similar. It's bigger and has had a lot more development than Richmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you could say it the opposite. Like Richmond is a baby Austin in many ways.
Yeah, I think Richmond will definitely get there. I think we're on our way. I think it's going to take about 15, maybe 20 years to really like be on the map as like Richmond, Virginia, you know, like
I don't know, man. It's kind of like we're in
kinda
it right
here,
now.
yeah. It's
but
pretty
it's
close.
not like this is what I mean. When someone goes, "Yeah, I lived in Austin for like 2 years," and people are like, "Oh, you lived in Austin?" That's no one's doing that. When you're like, "Yeah, I lived in Richmond for 2 years,"
No,
and you're in
everyone-
Austin. People aren't going to be like,
When you
know,
say,
"Oh my God, you lived in Richmond, Virginia?"
I don't know, man. I don't know. I've got some clients in Amsterdam, and when I first met them and told them I lived in Richmond, they're like, "Oh, you live in Richmond?" Like they knew exactly what I was talking
that's kind
That
of
might
crazy.
be a
Yeah.
one-off.
That's I don't know, man. Like,
Dude.
every time I'm like, especially going to like Northern Virginia, I'm like, yeah, I'm from Richmond. They're like, where?
about. Okay, but those are Nova people. They're
Those-
doing that on purpose.
Yeah, those are assholes.
Nova people
Yeah.
are doing that on purpose.
They're like Richmond. Ew, why?
Yeah, they're jealous of our rent prices.
That's fair.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah.
spending $800,000
so
on
they
a
wanna
single family
Yeah.
one level home.
they want to pretend that they can't move here and have just as great of a time as if they live in DC.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that's
there's
fair.
some cool shit in DC for sure.
Yeah.
But
100%. Yeah.
I'd
Well,
pick Richmond.
I think
I
DC
think I would.
looks at us as like the problem child when we're not like they're the problem child,
Yeah,
but they're so stuck up.
Dude,
And
I'm
no
cool.
hate on DC. or
I'm cool
anything.
with being the problem child.
But
man.
like,
I've
I
always been
love being the problem child, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably better that like we keep it what it is. It's like, yeah, you don't know what's going on down here, and that's fine. Stay in DC. We'll come and visit, and you just
Exactly.
won't ever come and bother us.
Yes.
That's fine.
Pretty much.
Sounds great.
What do you guys
Yeah.
think about this new amphitheater?
I think it's great.
Mixed feelings, mostly good. I think it'll be cool. The lineup is not my fave, but I was talking to some friends earlier, and they were like, "Yeah, the lineup it's whatever. It's not a lot of bigger bands that we would be super stoked to see." Personal preference,
Head in the heart, man. Head in the
obviously,
heart is
personal
huge.
preference. Look, I know Head in the Heart.
Simple plan.
I know them. Like they're awesome. That's fine. I personally would probably like want to see some other stuff there. That's just me.
Do they
Yeah, I
have
think
like a whole calendar?
Yeah, they do. I think
Yep.
it's good. I think it's good. It's definitely good for that area because like there was nothing there. It was just a big, grassy lot.
Yeah. And I mean, the amphitheater looks really good. I mean, it's really well built. I love the style of it. I have intel though about it.
Intel.
They're not.
Oh shit!
They're
Breaking
not.
news.
It's not doing well already.
How is it not? They're not even open.
That's the problem.
Oh yeah.
So I think the first show is in June or
It's
July.
like coming up. Yeah.
And the people that I know that are there say that there is no way that they are ready to open by then.
the people that are working there.
The people that are
Yeah.
working there. I was also told that the bar and drink situation is like non-existent.
Okay.
So they don't have Brown distributing. I don't know who distributes, but like Brown is like, that's our thing. Like Brown distributing distributes everything and everywhere. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if they have distribution or not yet, but what I've been told is that it's they're running out of time and things aren't looking great.
Oh yeah. So like a lot of new projects, they're like they probably overshot or oversold their opening day, and they're not ready. And they probably haven't sold enough money or sold enough tickets to recoup some things that still need to be paid for. I'm assuming. I don't know. That's just kind of like
We'll
what
see.
it sounds like.
We'll see. And like I said, like, dude, the location's awesome. It's right on the river. It's right there. Could you imagine just like, downtown Richmond being lit up with lights again like that?
Dude, it's
like
about
that's
to be.
so
Yeah.
cool, man.
That's about to be our boardwalk, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty
Like
much.
it really is.
Or like our wharf in DC. It's
Yeah.
kind of like that
gonna be
area.
exactly.
It's super
It
cool.
would be great if we had like the amphitheater and then like some other little shops and things.
Totally agree.
Kind of line that little street down there. That would be cool.
It's planned.
Yeah.
It's planned. If you cruise by there and look at all the signs, like that is absolutely their
Yep.
plan. Like they're
Okay.
putting in a little pizza restaurant. It's basically the wharf,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
Richmond version.
Yeah, it feels just like the wharf.
So I think when I first saw the post about it, probably on Facebook, and then like Instagram, there was mixed feelings from the people that I follow, and a lot of them were in support of it. They're like, "Oh yeah, this is great. It's going to bring all this business down to that area. It's going to give us another music venue. We'll have more like bigger bands come through, and all that stuff is great. Like economy is going to benefit from it because people spending money in Richmond is always great." But then there was the other side, or a variation of the other side that's like they spent all this money to build an amphitheater when the streets are still messed up and the schools are still broken and we haven't taken care of the Coliseum problem and the 6th Street Marketplace is an eyesore and we have no idea what's going on with that. And, the list goes on and on. It's like you could have fixed a parking structure that needs like remodeling. You could have added public access spaces like parks and, little neighborhood markets to boost economies in other parts of the city. And there's always going to be like that kind of friction.
It's always going to be that way with anything.
Yeah. So the right answer is I think it's good. It's happening. So it doesn't matter what I think, but I think it'll be cool. I'll get to enjoy it. I definitely hear the other side is like, yeah, you could have spent $1.5 billion in infrastructure in Southside.
Yeah.
Because it desperately needs it.
Yeah. The argument's just so old at this point. Like the Coliseum thing that you brought up, they're trying to crowdfund $3 million to demolish that. It's a huge, people don't realize that's a 4-acre lot. It's huge. It's massive. And they're trying to demo everything. And it costs millions of dollars to when, one side is like, we got to get rid of it. It's like, I don't think you understand how much and how many people it takes to actually do this.
Yeah.
And then the other side is like, well, it's an institution. It's an icon. Don't take it down. It's like, dude, you're going to get both of those sides for everything that we do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the tricky part is like, where do you land on it? I think is, completely, your prerogative. Like I said, I see the argument for spending money like that on the project that they're using the money for. I also see the argument where there is a desperate need for infrastructure support and funding in a lot of critical areas like neighborhoods and schools and things like that.
Yeah, I wonder who actually foots that bill though.
Yeah.
It's Allianz, so they've got to be ones to put money in. It's their, place. Yeah. So I don't think Richmond's footing an entire bill for an amphitheater down by the river.
Yeah, it's definitely a collaborative project, I think. I think Allianz and then Venture Richmond, I think, has some hand into it. I don't know. I'm not the authority on that.
And they're all valid concern, city infrastructure and potholes and obviously the water issue and they're all valid concerns, but I almost feel like they're two different things, right? The amphitheater, the whole purpose of it is to bring money in.
Yes.
Right? Whereas all the city concerns are sending money out to fix all these things. So it's not really one or the other. It's like, well, one contributes to the other, but people don't like the order of it. They don't like the chronological order of, let's do this first and then address that, which I understand because there are, especially with the water situation, it's like we shouldn't be having water emergencies in a city as big as ours.
No.
Right.
Obviously shit happens, but it's like repeated negligence and problems that should not be not that they're easily solvable, but I do think that the steps to take to mitigate those things happening are simple.
Yeah. And
they're just not being done. So then it's like, but we're launching this big amphitheater and restaurants and stuff. It's like,
here's Funville.
Cool.
It's like, great. I don't have clean water in my restaurant.
Right.
What are we doing about that?
Yeah.
So, but I am excited about it.
Yeah.
I know that there will always be people that back historic Richmond, which I love the history. I mean, I just love history, period. But I love that Richmond is an old place. But bringing new life into it, I think, is very important.
Yeah, and I think since the pandemic, I don't think Richmond's music scene has really been on par, from what it used to be.
Agree.
And I think this will finally bring that new level again, where we start booking the bigger bands and having the bigger shows, and then who knows, maybe AEG at the National starts bringing in bigger and better and more music, and and then all of a sudden Broadberry's doing the same thing. It could just be a domino effect. We'll see, but
I hope so.
I can tell you, the music scene in Richmond has not been what it was, and I'm excited for it to get back that
same.
To that.
Have you been
standard.
to the Doswell Park? Have you gone out to Doswell for any big shows out there?
Oh, not for a show. I think I did a movie or something there.
I feel like it potentially proves the concept in some ways. It shows because there's big country artists and stuff. So it shows the artists will come if the tickets are sold and the place is big enough.
Yeah.
So it's not that people won't come here geographically. They will. but there has to be the infrastructure to do it.
Well,
So I
and-
definitely agree.
And you look at the racetrack, I mean, it already happens. We've
Right.
had some huge people at the
Yeah.
racetrack. And I think the amphitheater is looking to bring even bigger acts than what we've been bringing.
Yeah.
And we had Fallen in Reverse and like big bands,
Yeah.
like huge. And I also think the amphitheater is just going to sell out every show for a little while.
I think it probably.
I
will,
think
too.
the hype is there. I haven't seen much in terms of marketing. Hopefully that changes soon, but
Well, it's corporate, so it's going to be on the radio stations. It's going
Yeah.
to be, it's going to be the typical corporate thing.
Yeah.
yeah. But no, I think it's great for the city. I think it's great for art in general for Richmond, but especially the music scene. I think we just need it.
How about the pickleball place in the tunnel?
Oh,
Have you
dude.
seen the controversy?
Yeah,
No.
I was gonna say,
Oh,
have you seen? I gotta pull it up.
It's
Somebody-
Night Owl.
Yeah, the artist
Somebody
Night Owl.
lose their pickle at the-
Those are all like the
The murals.
murals. They're all still owned by the artists. People don't realize that. And that's where the pickleball is happening. One artist, he goes by Night Owl.
So what did they do? Did they just cover all that up and just
No.
They're using it to promote the pickleball
Oh.
thing.
So they're kind of using the
They're using
tourism part of, or not even tourism, but like the attraction part of
Yep.
it
the art. And
for commercial gain.
yeah, so Night Owl came out and he spoke right to them, and he shared all of his emails.
Yeah.
But he was
Pull
like
it up,
this,
Jamie.
yeah, producer.
What does that? What
That
does
we
that
don't
say?
have.
So he starts off. The post
It's
is
a
basically
lot.
it's just
It's a
him.
lot.
It starts off with him spraying
Making
white.
it.
No,
So
this is
he's
him
covering his
it
own
up.
art. And in the video, he just puts "not for sale" in big white letters.
Yeah.
And good for him. I love
mean,
that
yeah.
he did this.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a
l-
clear violation of copyright. You're using someone else's art for commercial gain, and
And
that's like black and white. That's clear copyright infringement.
and they are trying to not. They're treating it as a gray area, and it's
It's
like
not.
it's totally
Yeah,
not.
it's not.
It's your art, and either you want it up or no.
So I'm not going to read all the emails, but
It's a
the
lot.
the initial one was like an introductory, like to follow up on our conversation. I appreciate you understanding that's my preference for my mural of which to be painted over prior to the opening of the exterior at the facility's paddle plant. Right. So they had a conversation about it. The discussion was, I would prefer for you to paint over it while you're in construction.
Mhm.
So this is supposed to be taking place before the place was open, while they're in construction mode, and while things are getting built. And they go back and forth, and he keeps addressing that the issue hasn't been taken care of. There's a couple more email exchanges like, yeah, okay, I understand. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. And then he realizes that they're opening and it still hasn't been taken down. And then there's an exchange, and it goes to the effect of,
And this is months.
this is like
months
over
of
months.
emailing.
is like the last one is like, I've made my position clear on this matter. I want my artwork removed as soon as possible, and certainly before the exterior spaces open. And there's a couple more. And the last one from him, if you respected my desire or my intellectual property, you would have responded at any point during the past 3 months to resolve this reasonably. The fact that the exterior space is open and my mural is still up is completely contrary to what I asked. As I stated previously, I'm willing to put out a public statement that it is being removed at my request, but only if you do so by the end of the day tomorrow. They didn't do it. He didn't put out the statement. He just went there and covered it up.
Yeah. And also it's like multiple people emailing him too, being like, hey, well, Sarah said this and I know she said that and we're trying to get it all figured out. He's like, all you have to do is just figure it out. Just
It's
do
not
it.
hard.
Like, just do it.
It's like, I don't care about any of that. Just
Just do it.
They were playing the okie doke, like, oh yeah, if we
Yeah.
just drag this on and we get open, we don't have to deal
And
with this.
another thing in the emails is that they keep on alluding to the fact that it's beautiful art and they want Richmond to continue to see it.
mhm.
But that's their get around of like, we're using this
Yeah.
as like our financial gain. It's crazy, but he went and just started painting right over it, and then he wrote "not for sale."
Did they purchase that property or are they leasing that property?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Because when I went down there, have you guys been down there yet?
No,
I
not yet.
rode by it. I haven't
Okay.
like been into the place, but I did see it.
So I went down there and I went inside, and the inside's, it's like a warehouse, big, old warehouse. I don't know what it was before, but it's mainly indoors. Like there's a bunch of courts, there's the pickleball and the paddle, and then there's like a little bar and like a little kitchen. and then there's a door that is basically was a hole built into the canal area where the murals were. And then they put glass paddle courts, like glass covered paddle courts, right in the middle of all of those murals so that you can see the art on the wall. I thought that was like public space. I didn't think the building was owned by anybody
Yeah,
except
I thought
the
it was
city.
owned by the city.
Same. I did not think that was like a commercial space.
Right. So I don't know. They may be leasing the inside and we're allowed to build on the outside. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Or that's part of the zoned property, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe, probably. So they're probably leveraging that being the case.
Yeah.
As despite what's on the exterior of the building, we are occupying it. We pay rent on it, and we have a contract saying that we can do what we will with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I guess I do see how it could potentially be a gray area, but I think if that outside space is part of the property, then I think it's clear cut because it's like, well, you're leasing a space that has somebody's copyrighted work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless of you owning or leasing the space, you're using someone else's work for commercial gain that you don't have an agreement with.
I think based on his like reaction, I think it's something like that. Because like, how could you? He obviously is a muralist, so he paints on private and public
Yeah.
all the time, I'm sure. So I'm sure he knows what's up
Yeah.
with rules and laws and whatnot. So.
Well, normally you would license your work, right? But especially if he's just sort of a public artist, then he's saying, well, I'm not licensing it to you.
Yeah.
But you're also not covering it up.
Right.
So you're infringing upon my copyrights.
Yeah.
I don't know what the statute is there because
It has to do with commercial gain. Like it has to, just from being like in content and art and media, like it has to do with commercial gain. So if that was like a public park, he wouldn't care. He cares because it's a business, probably. You know what I mean? Like,
and they're making money on
exactly.
Well,
and they're using it to market their business and in their visuals, in their Instagram posts and stuff, probably.
it. Oh, 100%.
It's
That's
like,
all over their Instagram.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's
So
it's like Unbox Technologies. They had me go in and put up a mural in their commercial space. They lease that property. If they were to leave that building and go to another office and someone went in and started posting like, hey, look at this mural we have in our new office, like I would want that to be taken down for sure.
Yeah.
And I would definitely go to them and say, I want this covered up, taken down, whatever you have to do. But it was to this company. They couldn't take it down for whatever reason. I don't want this art, affiliated with your business because I wanted it affiliated with this business. I think they do good things for people. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, I see his side in that for sure.
And yeah, with artists, it's it's pretty straightforward with art. It really is. It's like you either infringe upon the copyright or you don't. And if there's there has to be an agreement in place. It's like, what's the agreement? And the agreement would either need to be with the business or the property owner. And if there's no agreement, then by default, the work belongs to the person who created it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
weird.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, he went in and did his own thing.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it's kind of. I was like, hell yeah, dude, that's
just
some Revel stuff.
He just rolls up in there because it's like it's not indoors. That part of the building, it's all like outdoors still.
Right.
And you can just walk through there. Like there's no gate, there's no door. Like the canal, that part of the canal is still open.
So you just walked in there and painted over it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, man. A little outlaw shit.
Yeah.
So we've been going for 40 minutes.
Yeah. Nice.
Do we want to?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good moment to like pause and think about what we've done so far and then how we would get to a stopping point.
Yeah.
And by all means, that could be the stopping point.
Yeah.
Like
natural progression of a.
Yeah. Hey, that's all the time we have. Not like that.
You would
like,
honestly, you wouldn't even acknowledge, like it would just end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other thing, like if you think about other natural podcasts, they're like, normally comes to some sort of a conclusion on a talking point. And I feel like we just got to that particular one by talking about him painting over the thing.
Yeah.
See, I see it like when we talk about like leads and ideas for this, that would that would have probably been our meat and potatoes right there, right? Like the
like
one,
the
like the
amphitheater
big thing,
and the pickleball thing.
yeah,
for
and
sure.
those are like the two things, and then we just kind of like fizzle out on that. You know, the
I mean, we
next
talked
thing.
about some good topics, and we did hit some that were on the notes. We
100%.
talked about the amphitheater. We almost got into like the James River when we started talking about the rivers and the mountains and stuff. So we could have segmented into like river and do you swim in the river and all and the water stuff and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Was that on my list?
And
It was, yeah.
yeah, and that'll come like
Nice.
you know, when we have like a more structured. When we go, all
we
right,
talk
here it
about-
is on the whiteboard.
Yeah,
There it is.
Bionic belly buttons, Rob Zombie's $9 million home, mountain verse beach,
Yeah.
amphitheater, pickleball.
Cool.
I mean,
That's pretty good.
the title of
mean,
the episode is Bionic Belly Buttons.
Totally. Yeah. Or what was it?
No, Trailer Park Tony
Trailer
Stark.
Park Tony Stark, dude.
Yo, that's good.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
like,
good.
you know, we definitely covered a good amount of topics and like that's a pretty good 40-minute episode.
I mean, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and like
We could definitely fit one more thing if we wanted to, but I would be happy with that.
I mean, I
would
think
too.
I think 40 minutes is like a perfect
time. Yeah,
duration.
40 minutes is a
like
perfect
that
podcast.
felt good.
Yeah.
It felt long. It felt
It's also
like
a very natural conversation.
yeah, and it just kind of flowed.
yeah, and I think
I feel like another 20 minutes, man, we would have to start like kind of digging into the notes and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we naturally can't. I mean, obviously, we all kind of were like, all right, I think we're done.
I think we're finished,
Like,
yeah.
What else are we talking
and
about?
it was easy for me to like look at that and be like, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Dang.
yeah.
Yeah. So
How do you guys feel about it?
I thought that felt great.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
Natural conversation. Like we've done this obviously without the mics on
Yeah.
like numerous times. So
Yeah,
it's,
and
like,
this was just
it's
the
easy.
test. So like when we get into the real thing, dude, it's gonna be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it already looks fucking great
Yeah,
too.
I think it looks great. I think-
Yeah, I'm just talking about like the content that
Yeah.
we're talking
Oh,
about. I
yeah.
think when we actually have the structure and stuff, and we're like, all right, this is episode 1, like this is the serious thing. I think we're gonna be dialed in.
Dude, I think the thing that makes this work is like we all have like so many different things that we're interested in. You know, like I had no idea about the pickleball. I'm surprised that I didn't hear about that or see anything about that
Yeah.
artist or anything. You guys even mentioned topics and people. I'm like, I've never heard of this. Like, I also don't know. I know a lot about storytelling, but I don't know shit about in particular movies. So like
Yeah.
you guys named movies where I was like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
what it is.
dude, we were in here chatting, and he's never seen Star Wars,
Yeah.
and I was just
I also
like,
never saw any of the movies you guys mentioned.
I'm like,
either.
what the
Never
f-
seen Hellboy.
Yeah,
Never seen.
he's not. He doesn't watch movies, and I'm
no.
like, wait, the
Dude,
what?
Labyrinth?
I watched
Oh.
documentaries, man.
Yeah.
Like,
You gotta like off record. You gotta do shrooms and watch Labyrinth.
I'm down.
It's
I'm down.
it's so
Labyrinth,
sick.
like the mystical
Labyrinth?
movie, Pan's Labyrinth. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the Labyrinth.
Didn't
there's-
Guillermo del Toro do Pan's Labyrinth?
He did Pan's Labyrinth, but there's a movie from like the early
Labyrinth.
'90s, The Labyrinth, which is like terrible, but it's like a cult classic because it
Nice.
was funny and
Yep.
like weird back then. Don't watch that one. Watch Pan's
Watch
Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
It's in Spanish, which that's fine.
Dude, it's so good.
It's incredible.
It's
Yeah.
so fucking good.
All
And
right.
it's like the weirdest shit.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
cool.
a fucking trippy movie, dude, but
I'll
it's
check it
awesome.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll normally have like one random show, and then everything else is like documentaries and weird
Yeah.
See,
conspiracy shit.
I just got into the documentaries probably like 2 years ago, and it's been nothing but documentaries. Dude,
Bro, that's
last
all
night,
I've like ever watched is fucking documentaries about all kinds of cults and like just. That's why I know so much weird, like random
So
stuff.
much random
yeah,
shit.
I'm not proud of it, but
Yeah.
last night I spent 4 hours watching the new Earnhardt documentary.
on Dale Earnhardt.
Is it
Have you
that
seen
just
it?
came out on
Trailer Park
Netflix?
Tony Stark.
Huh?
Just came out on Netflix.
Just came out on Netflix.
Yeah.
It is so
Trailer
good,
Park Tony
man.